Alright, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutation to the Akim preaching the truth, to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. Shalom to the Aquas listening in and respecting the husband. We say shalom. Right? And the name of this video is going to be He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? You understand? Because it really is a preparation for the times we heading in, and a preparation to let you know the mindset of this wicked devil, right? Because this wicked devil wouldn't even be good unto himself. So to whom he gonna be good? And when it goes into himself, it really goes into his people. You understand? It goes into the Edomites, right? What is going on this thing? Right? So without further ado, we're going to the precept where they are.
It is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 14 and verse 12.
5.
Verse 5, Salak, yeah. Yeah, it see, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his own goods.
Can. You understand? So he that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his own goods. He would never take pleasure in his own works, in his own people. He wouldn't even build them up. You understand? He wouldn't even care about his own, but he care about himself. You understand? Within everything Esau does, he cares about himself. When it is time for them to flee into the bunkers, when they see the shit it's going to hit the fan, is they care about themselves. You understand? The family, that's why the banking families keep it towards themselves. They keep the wealth within themselves. That's why majority of them marry family. You understand? They don't care about no other Edomites out there. Like how we Jake still trying to bring back the lost tribes of Israel, still mourning for our people. You understand? They don't care about that. You understand?
If I could add, right, it even goes back to even when in 2007 we had a collapse in the economy, and many Edomites was jumping off buildings and committing suicide due to the fact that the collapse of the economy. And guess what? Who does that? Who actually does that is the Lord. But these Edomites, as the brother make mention of the banking families, they know the 13 banking families, the DuPonts, right? The Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, right? All these different the Bergesons, you understand? These different people, control the mass majority of the assets of this world, because that was given unto them. And they take no pleasure in their own goods, in the sense that a lot of Edomites over in America presently living on the roadside, living in tents, and Esau just like to go into everybody else's land, as the scripture says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Though he's a proud man, he keepeth not himself at home. He like to go to other people's houses and try to put their houses in order when his house is not in order. You understand? And that what the scripture says, if a kingdom be divided against itself, it shall not stand.
Going on into verse 6, it says, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. So we're actually telling him, hey, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, please down him.
And how he places on him? Selak, how he places on him? He places on him with what? The Amalekites. Which is
Amalekites.
Which is actually the Khazarian Jews. Because out of the different tribes of Edom, they are the richer one. And they are the richer one of the Edomites. And these other Edomites, just envy them. And that is a plague the Lord put upon them. You understand? Because he having all this wealth, being the least of the flock, and not taking care of his other Edomites fellow brethren. He leaving them let they suffer. You understand? And that is a plague from the Lord. That is a plague from the Lord. And that just goes to show how wonderful the Lord is, alright? Seeing that he doing these things unto him.
Because it even goes into his name as well too. Edom in the Hebrew is Ishashua. It goes into what? He's wasted away.
Wasted away is he.
Right? Wasted away is he. So that just show that he doesn't care about himself. How much more would he care about you, Jakes? How much more you think Esau gonna even look upon you when all hell start to break loose, or he gonna have any mercy? You understand? You remember he is the Lord's sword, and the Lord said that he gonna in Revelation 12 it tell you that he gonna come down with great wrath.
Hey, scripture saying somebody could pull up real quick. Forget not the voice of thy enemy. You understand? Forget not the voice of thy enemy. I'm gonna just get it real quick, right? Because you know the brother make mention of that, you know, and that just goes to show. Just wait my second. Forget not the voice. This is Psalm 74 and verse 23. It says, forget not the voice of thy enemies, the tumult of those that rise up against thee, increase it continually. You understand? And they will saying, don't forget the voice of them. And then there's something that, you know, Israel, you know, is like a short-term memory or to forget that's what this guy did to them or did to us. You understand? And they go all loving. And the scripture says, though he come crunching as a lion. You understand? Yet his wrath is not all wiped away. That's what the scripture says. So don't forget the voice of your enemy, because this guy is not human. The scripture says the basest of men. He's a beast. You understand?
So even going on into the scripture back where you was reading, right? Let me go back into it. It says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Because if he do it good, it becomes like a mistake to him, because he wasn't actually trying to do something good. If he could have done wickedly in that time, he would have done wickedly as well. You understand? And it says
that's the other note too. The scripture says, and if he do it good, he do it not of his own will, but who will he talk of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because he always in control of everything. And when that time comes, the scripture says that we enemy gone in treat we, right? Even if it's a Elamite and all too, or a slack a Elamite and all too, have to entreat we, who will that do that will Yahweh Hashem Yahushai?
That would say unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness, meaning that he will show you he wicked at the end. He will show his true nature at the end of it all, and it even goes into the time we heading into.
Yeah, that was scripture saying that is Jeremiah 13. We say, who can a leopard change his spots? You understand? He that is evil, you know. So and that is so beautiful, because he can't change from being the wicked that he is, because he was designed to play that role in the Most High movie. That is the role he was signed up for. As the scripture says in Job 14 and 4, it says, you know, who can burn an unclean out of unclean? You understand? So he set up to play that role of the wicked, and that is what he's going to do. Because he said in Job 21st chapter, he said, what is the Most High that we should serve him? You know, so the way of God they know not. And that way the scripture says, you know, the fool had said in his heart. The fool had said in his heart, there is no God.
So let's get this Romans 3 and verse 15 real quick, because this is basically their agenda. Right? This is Romans 3 and 15. It says, their feet are swift to shed blood, destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known.
As you're reading there, go to Micah the 2nd chapter.
I'm getting Micah one time.
Go to Micah the 2nd chapter, because the way of peace they have not known. For far too long, Esau have been shedding innocent blood. That is Genesis 6. Yeah, you can get on your cell phone. You know, the blood of thy brothers cried unto me. Let we see that. Right? Let we see that. Because since the beginning of time, because scripture, you know, scripture talk about whatsoever thing written aforetime. Because brother brought out that precept in Romans. You know, they are swift to shed blood. They are swift to shed blood. You understand? Okay, Genesis 6 and try verse. Go on. Just wait a quick second. Just hold this here real quick.
You can, because going back to the precept we just read, right? Their feet are swift to shed blood. This is their nature. This is how the Lord created them. The Lord created them to be the wicked. Now you can't expect the wicked to not do wickedness. You can't expect the scorpion to not sting you You can't, and that is a lesson. You understand? Expect Esau to come down with great wrath because the Lord said it's going to come. He's going to do it.
Because that's kicking me back to that time I did that video, right? And this thing about it, it was like a folk tale, right? It had a scorpion and a frog, right? But the scorpion wanted to cross the river, but you know a frog could swim. So the scorpion now come and ask the frog, hey, let me ride on your back. Let me ride on your back and you'll carry me across the river. But what is that scorpion? What them just do? Them just literally them just sting you. So what is the sense in your mind? You knowing that I was going with these two to jakes. You knowing that this wicked man, right, this wicked and vile man gonna do certain things because you do know because man Lord out here signing and crying and letting them know, right, each other's agenda, what them have in store for you. So if you be like the frog, you knowing that before you even cross the river with the scorpion on the bloody back, they gonna sting you. So them you knowing before you get that way you want from Esau Edom, from this wicked system here, is the gonna have you in shit streak. Because Yahweh Hashem Yashai putting everything in place, right? That themselves gonna be your stumbling block.
Because you just start on with what I seen. Expect the expected.
Can't expect the expected.
You understand?
And that is prophecy because scripture says, woe unto you that call evil good and good evil. And he's an evil man. You understand? Because the brother read it in Romans, the 3rd chapter. You understand? He feeds swift to shed blood, and from the beginning of time he have done that. And we're going to read that. You understand? This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 9. You know, for those who understand reincarnation, alright, this was Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel was Jacob and Esau in reincarnation. And so coming down the line, which came the Israelites and which came the Edomites. Alright? Genesis chapter 4 and verse 9, it says, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And Cain means what? Kwayon, which means spare. Alright? That is a nomen omen. In the Greek means name prediction. Alright? Nomen omen. It says, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And that's what the brother read earlier on. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Kwayon is a spear. Where is used as spear too? It's used as spear to devour people.
Can't trust you.
Can't. Verse 10 it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And that is what being done. The saints, the blood of the saints crying unto the Lord. That was written of in Revelation the 6th chapter.
Because the Lord even say the righteous blood cried continually. You understand? Continually cried, and the time gonna come where it's gonna be serious upon the earth. You understand? Now, if it is you can't learn through the scriptures what the brothers bringing out here, and through the voice trying to speak unto you that you can't trust your enemy, then you would never understand. You would have to burn to learn like the scorpion and the frog. Now the frog didn't want to trust that the scorpion would be within its nature and sting him, but he gets stung anyway. So it's the same thing with Esau. A lot of people want to trust in him and trust in the system and trust in the injection and trust in all this wickedness, trust in the job and trust in all these wickedness, right? But at the end of it, you're gonna get sting. You're gonna get sting because all these things are become stumbling blocks to you. Your job, that going to fuck with you. Yeah, everything going to end up tampering with you. You understand? And the reason why you're not tampering because that way you put your trust in. Now when you go to Isaiah 30, it says, woe unto them that, walk down into Babylon for strength.
With the Egypt for help.
With the Egypt for help. You understand? That's roughly paraphrasing.
And the Holpen ones, the Holpen ones in the 3rd chapter, the ones that actually help keep the system running. You understand? That system, the word system actually goes into that bit. And that is what these people believe in. They believe in that system. They believe in that bit. They believe in the ungodly man. You understand? And that scripture says to be carnally minded is death.
Yep.
But what? Destruction. Because that is what's going to come to the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, which his biblical name is Esau Edom. The way of peace, they know not. You understand? could go into the Micah, Baba Pasha, and you can read over the Romans, and then go into it. You know, they take a man feel by what? By violence.
By violence. Come, Romans
3, 15.
Right, yeah.
And these jakes and them so bugged out. Them they get tired of love master so much, right? So I love master so much because watch, if you go back to what I'm used to doing in days are old, and yet still somebody, I didn't say some, but majority of the jakes and them wanna kiss up to these fuckers and them.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right.
like if like what them do for we so good, what they take out our slavery and give me jobs to work and fucking and we under mental fucking chains. What's the difference? What's the difference? And just like I just kept saying is your homeborn slave?
Yeah, why is
You
it
can't
spoiled?
go into the mindset that they're so slack for the opposite language, but they're so fucking stupid.
Can't, because they just really actually don't remember. And one of the reasons why they don't remember is because they don't read. If they was to read and give the Lord and the Lord give them the remembrance, because what the Lord say, in the land of your captivity, He'll cause you to remember yourself. You understand? And a part of remembering yourself is reading the scriptures and remembering who we are as a people. Now, when you get a remembrance, you get to understand all the wickedness, and they die when you start to develop the hatred for Esau.
Then too, you gotta remember also in the wilderness, alright, a portion of Israel said, you know what, Moses, let me go back to Egypt and let me go and drink with vinegar and do these things. And the Lord, what the Lord had to do, the Lord had to kill out these older heads until Joshua come on the scene and take the younger men and carry them up to the mountain and circumcise them. And that is what being done right now. The Lord don't want the older heads. And then we say, unto you babes I call in Psalms the 8th chapter. You know? Because the Lord called these young men because He see they are might, they are strong, and they hate the way of wickedness. Because we seeking a righteous kingdom. That's what the scripture says in Hebrews 13. It says, no, they desire heavenly kingdom where Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is pleased to be called their God.
And that's so yapa. Because knowing that we have the power, the most high power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua ruling with us, we ain't gonna study the bloody man. We got the bloody man first thing first. The Lord created that bloody man to be a serious stumbling block, to be a force, you understand, not to be reckoned with on earth. But we are not to fear him, because the Lord raised him up just to bring him down. The Lord gave him all that pride and all that power just to bring him down. You understand? But dealing on Esau wickedness, you can't trust him. You can't trust him not to flex his muscles now and again. Because right throughout history, he was flexing his muscles. You understand? These Edomites flexing their wickedness right throughout history. That's why the scriptures say, who got his riches by deceit. You understand?
Yeah. And then we should say, woe to you rich men in James the 5th chapter. Woe, which means destruction, because how did they get it? They get it off the backs of the slaves. Who were the slaves? The slaves were the Israelites. When you had our little children, our old men picking cotton, the scripture says in Isaiah 47 verse 6, the Lord said He was wroth with His people, He was angry with His people, but thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient and the young. You understand? You didn't do that. And at that time you was beheading jakes, you was amputating them, cutting off the hands, you know, which is us come back in our lot. And to the ones that used to be rebelling, which will be us again, you know, through the Spirit, used to be joining all different cane rows and maps in our heads, you know, for escape route. The level of wickedness that Esau used to do our people, it literally have a trail of bones. You can look this up, a trail of bones from Port Judah, West Africa, you know, coming across to the Western Hemisphere.
Even pertaining to the devil's punch bowl. You understand? If you want to do your history on the devil's punch bowl and all too, you get to understand that Esau have a lot to pay for. And that's the thing, Esau have a lot to pay for. A lot of blood was shed. That's why the Lord say, the blood, the fire, the land. You have it?
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Numbers 35 verse 33. It says, Ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but the blood of him that shed it. So just as how you shed our blood, your blood have to run.
Your blood must run.
That is the only how it's going to be cleansed. Because that will represent a balance.
Correct. And it's righteous too, because the Lord say it's righteous to recompense tribulation on them that trouble thee. And that word trouble goes in deep, because they trouble us in all ways.
The scripture saying that is what Matthew 13, right? Where it says, from since the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom of heaven suffer persecution, suffer violence, and the violent taken by force. Because when Herod was on the scene, Herod was an Edomite, right? His father, Salaki, I can't remember his name right now, but he was an Edomite who beheaded John the Baptist. So from since that time, the kingdom of heaven, who is the kingdom of heaven? The nation of Israel. So since that time, and that just goes to show from how long ago, all right, this Edomite have been shedding blood. And shedding who blood? Shedding the blood of the saints.
And Esau that's good. Esau in his mind believes that his kingdom will not continue forever, and believes that when the Lord comes, he's gonna fight. But ain't no way you're ready for that battle. You understand? Ain't no way so you could fool some of these jigs. You understand? But you can't fool the elect. Nothing is gonna separate us from the love of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Not tribulation, not anything gonna separate us. We constantly can't. And that is what we are out here to really proclaim, that we're going all out for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And when you see this bloody man coming, don't put your trust in him. Don't even think that he coming good, because the scriptures say what? His words were smoother than what? You understand? I can bring it out for edification. Can't know that. Let's forget Psalms 55.
What sword is used to do? A sword is used to kill or to devour. You understand?
Let's see if I got a precept right here. Psalms 55 verse 21. It said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
And then let me slow it down. Sometimes you just have to slow the scriptures down. The scripture says his words were smoother than butter. What does that remind you of? That remind you of what? The serpent in the garden. You understand? The serpent in the garden was a cunning beast, a cunning creature. And that way the scripture says the serpent was more subtle from all the beasts. He was more crafty, he was more cunning, he was more wise. The scripture said that in Ezekiel 28 chapter. But thou art wiser than Daniel.
Yeah, because they know how to come, they know how to make their presentation. You understand? They dealing with the mass media, they dealing with the TV. You understand? They dealing with everything. The way they know how to present something to catch these jakes, and then fuck them again.
And when you finish, go ahead.
Yeah, because they did it already. When you understand, they go back in history, they put it into the Tuskegee experiment. You know that what they did to us, and even go into details because Esau checking every algorithm right now, right? You know they did to the Tuskegee experiment. You can look it up, right?
Even to the natives.
To the natives,
they came in all well and good, and then they started laying down laws for the native Indians, which are truly Israelites, which go back to God, and also the Seminole Indians will go back to Reuben. Alright, they started put on laws for them. They started killing all the water buffaloes, which they used to eat and make the coats, the clothing, You understand? You have to do all these things. You just come in there, with that spirit of death. Because you have to say death and hell. You understand? Death and hell. And that's what you is. You is death and hell.
And I really happy because the scripture go on to say, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet with it drawn swords. You understand? So no matter what he say, it's drawn swords. May have a perpetual hatred for us, and we have a hatred for him same way.
And that what the scripture say. The scripture said, good is set against evil, and life against death. They are two in two. One exalted another, and righteousness gonna be exalted above wickedness.
Because even when the sun rises in the morning, right? What has happened to all the darkness?
It disappeared.
The darkness disappeared. Flee. You understand?
To add to it, Genesis the 27th chapter says what? And thy blessing shall be what? The sword.
Exactly.
That was his blessing. So let him enjoy his blessing now.
For now,
because when Yahweh Shai come, it's going to be a different story. Go ahead.
Right. The thing that is a day on this precept here. Our next precept here. Just now. I'm going to look at Proverbs. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 4, and I'll read from verse 16. It says, for they sleep not. This is Esau, right? It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. Right? So it says they sleep not, except they have done mischief. Right? Because I have a scripture that say the wicked are weary. They weary in doing their wickedness. You understand? They tired in doing their wickedness. Then they sit down and they counsel with all these other nations with the crafty counsel, and they plan on how they're gonna persecute the Israelites, how they're gonna get the people under subjection, how they're gonna make people go to this NWO. You understand?
And how they're doing it? They're doing it through necromancy. Through sorcery.
Witchcraft.
Through offering up to Molech, the owl and the different gods that they have, and Satan dealing with them on the left hand side, telling them what to do. But you have to always remember the counsel of Ahab. One of the angels on the left hand side said, I will go into the mouth of his prophets as a lion spirit. So Esau being deceived, and he don't even know it.
Because he being deceived by our Shai.
That's right.
You understand? And that's the thing. You being deceived by the Most High. So the money you be deceived by the Most High is only you set up for a fall. Because look what the scripture continue to say. It say and their sleep is taken away. Meaning they're not sleeping, they're weary. They constantly thinking about ways to be evil. You understand? How to put sanctions on this nation, how to do that, how to run in here to get what we need to get. You understand?
And life is like a boomerang. Wherever you choose out, that is where you're gonna get. So guess what? He lied, and he need a lie to cover up that lie. And he need a next lie to cover up the lie that he just lied. And that is how the train gonna be on a ripple effect. A lie to cover a lie, a lie to cover a next lie, a lie to cover the lies that he lied, and that's how we keep going.
And then the Lord raise your skirt and reveal all your lies.
And that is what being done right now. That is the reason why a lot of these nations, having great hatred for America. Because scripture says in Jeremiah 51 and verse 7, Babylon had been a golden cup in the hands of the Lord. All the nations have drunk, and now the nations are mad. So the philosophies that they have pushed to these nations, now these nations see the wickedness. The brother now quote the precept in Isaiah 47. They see the wickedness, they see the lies, they see the democracy, they see your flaws.
And that even go as far as back as Esau, Jacob pulling on the heel of Esau. because we spiritually pulling on that heel, which is bringing down this kingdom spiritually revealing, yeah. We're revealing all the shit that your lion said. We're revealing all the things that they try to cover up as well too. You understand? First and foremost, this is for the elect. So the elect would understand, they would catch the message and they would pass it on.
Yeah.
You understand? It's say unless they cause some to fall. Right? So they don't stop unless they cause some to fall.
And that's what we can hard too. That's the reason why, you know, they run these different experiments with the juices, you know,
Yeah.
and implement that if you don't do this, that is the measure, which goes back to what draconian measures.
Draconian laws.
Correct, which was after Draco.
Yeah, that was the emperor. He used to rule, but he was one of the worst because I do have video a while back on that same thing, because when it go into it real serious. You understand that this draconian laws started a while now, and it's not that they do have it still. They still have certain things that they gonna want to do, and even when you read the scriptures, you get to understand that yeah, they're gonna bring it out because martial law, you understand, itself gonna have a lot of draconian laws. They're gonna have to change up the way things set.
Martial law, when you go into the word martial law, it actually means that you're going to be judged as if you're a soldier in the military. It ain't going to have no Judaism system. You understand? It ain't going to have that. And that's why the Lord had all these prophecies coming out to show who the wicked is. You understand? And we the prophets, you know, had this beacon or this light to shine them up even more. You know? So,
you know? Yeah, well, hopefully this video was edifying. You wanna say Kalalayam, La Hayanawa, Yahawa Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakakodash, you know, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone again. Salutation to the Akiam preaching the truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. Shalom to the Aquas listening and respecting their husband. And say shalom to the speckled bird that may look at the other nation, but are of the nation of Israel. I say shalom.